Let me first make quick introductions and thanks to everyone. Purely coincidental that when the book came out, people from the Prabha Khaitan Foundation contacted me to do a function, and I just said, too much is going on because of the election. So it is absolutely heartwarming for me that I'm here to do a function for the same foundation. So many thanks to them. Thanks to two very special people of Oxford, because of whom I ended up coming to this place post-2019. Needless, Dr. Padmesh Gupta and my friend Sarwar Saab. We met 2019. So the point is very clear to me, and given the question that you asked, why UP has a straightforward answer. Since 1947, that India got independent, since that period, our population was 34 crores. And when the British left India, nearly 80% of that Indian population was poor. And out of that 80%, nearly 40% could easily be put in one place called Uttar Pradesh. Now, that's the historical base and the perspective. What led to it was the fact that all political experimentation and the biggest turnaround of Indian politics, in fact, the watershed election that's called in Indian politics, I've referred to all that in the book, so quickly running it through, is 1961. And I have quoted from an article here in the book of 1961, written by Guardian Liberal, actually a British newspaper. So the point that Arun made, when you look at a lot of what is still happening, the point that Dr. Padmesh Gupta made, actually seeds of that were sown during that period. And the most dangerous thing the British did, amongst many, to us, was the 1934 infamous census. 1934 census formed the basis of knowing the society of India at large on caste lines. That is India's first caste census under the British Raj. Now, what happened? It led also to the way constituencies were created after the provinces broke down and it became a larger state than an Awadh province or a united province, or the Meerut from where he talked about the 1857 mutiny starting. UP started giving the highest number of member of parliaments. I'm simplifying it so that all of you understand. And this arithmetic, this block of arithmetic by itself, ensured that if you won UP, and with other machinations that you could put in place in Delhi, you can actually form the government in India. You got my point? So you can actually form the government in India. And this continued for a very long period till now. You win UP, you win India. Now you understand? So that is why this book is so significant. Number two, the real pain for me while writing this book was that for a state, as he rightly said, which is given the maximum number of prime ministers, the biggest political dynasties, the biggest kingmakers, the people who've formed and brought governments down in Uttar Pradesh, which has bastions which belongs to leaders, which has areas dedicated to families, yet with so much power, enormity of power, not in UP, power directly linked to running the country. It is so horribly underdeveloped. That means the overriding factor, which also became the overriding factor of India in a lot of ways, was to focus on politics, to keep winning and forming governments and not really focus on development. And that's from where the problem started. Ideally, in an ideal world, the political power Uttar Pradesh has had since the country's independence is so enormous that it would have been and should have been India's role model of progress, development, economics. Any problem India had, UP could have solved it. It has hills, which is now separated into a separate hill state. It has water, it has minerals, it has everything. But over and above all, it is crime, caste, and politics. So that is one of the reasons I wrote this book. That why didn't this state even reach, there are a lot of data, I don't want to go into this right now, but not even 10% of the potential it had, and with the fact that repeatedly prime ministers came from there. Not once that one person came and, so lineage of the Congress, lineage of the BJP, including the present Prime Minister, who chose to go and contest from the city where I was born, Banaras, so as to be represented that I also come from UP. So some place with this degree of power unmatched by any state in Indian politics, and yet lagging behind, far behind. So I think that is the sense of the pain in this book.